All right, guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the Left Side View with Rahul and Amitabh. This is the review episode part two, where we will talk about all the matches that took place yesterday on Sunday. So, Amitabh, we have some exciting matches, but where do we begin?
Yeah, so again, we begin at Wembley with the second semi-final of the FA Cup. It was Chelsea against Crystal Palace, and I think the match was pretty much along expected lines. In the first half, both teams were just trying to feel each other out. It felt like Chelsea still had some hangover over on this match of the midweek match at Madrid. When you put in so much of effort and again for at least 5 6 minutes there was that euphoria that we might go through, and then from there on to lose, it is difficult to be back at your very best. So yeah, the first half was a pretty drab affair, but in second half, yes, I'm sure Tuchel said the right things. And yeah, even there was an injury to Kovacic, so Ruben Loftus-Cheek came in, and yeah, he tried to speeden up the game, and yeah, that helped us. Again, Loftus-Cheek got his moment finally. He scored the first goal in the 65th minute, and Mason Mount again an assist from Timo Werner. So a 2-0 win. It could have been a whole lot more, especially in the last 10 minutes once Lukaku was on, because we missed a lot of chances, hit the woodwork once Lukaku did. So as far as Palace is concerned, I think they missed an opportunity to have a go at Chelsea, because again, it was as good a time as any to face us. They were sort of always playing within themselves, not really trying to attack. Of course, tactically, Tuchel did have a plan in place for the star player, Zaha. So there was an opportunity for Ayew, I guess, to cross the ball to Benteke, but he tried to take that shot on his own. So again, small margins, fine margins, and I think that makes the difference. Again, the gulf in the class between the two teams over 90 minutes, it had to show. And even though it was scoreless till halftime, had had Palace scored the first goal, it might have been a little bit tensed for us. But since we got the first goal, then it was pretty smooth sailing from there. So yeah, onward and upward to Wembley once again. Another Liverpool versus Chelsea final. Let's see and hope for the best. Rahul?
Yeah, I think in a way, like you said, a game of two halves in a way. Like first half, everyone was like a little tense, maybe still feeling each other out. Not a lot of chances created in the first half, but yes, it did look like in the second half, Chelsea just amped up the pressure. Yeah, it looked like the Palace were in their own half for most of the second half, and they had no answer to the attack, the constant attacks that Chelsea were making. And yes, that finally resulted in a goal. Someone like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's actually not scored for Chelsea in almost 3 years, I think, if I'm correct. I think he last scored in 2019 in the semi-final of the Europa League when Mauricio Sarri was the manager. So yeah, a great match in that regard. And I'm also happy that the game didn't go to extra time. Yeah, I mean, because obviously I didn't want to see Chelsea play another extra time after playing extra time um, in the match against Real Madrid, especially keeping in mind that now we play against another team, Arsenal, in the Premier League. In just 3 days. Another good thing was Tuchel was able to rotate as well. Like he made three changes from the side that got knocked out by Real Madrid. Having said that, because of the fact that we can make five substitutions in this match as well. So yes, he made full use of that rule. He made five substitutions. The only negative point was the injury to Mateo Kovacic. Yes. Let's hope it's not a long-term injury. It's a business end of the season. We need him. He has been in a way our best midfielder. So yes, I just hope that it's not a long-term injury. And yes, it's a rematch of the Carabao Cup final now against Liverpool. Uh, Even Tuchel was asked in the press conference, what do you have to say about Liverpool chasing the quadruple? And he said, we don't really care about their quadruple, something along those lines, which is again what you would expect. But yes, it was nice to see him, say it straight in a straight face manner. Yeah, like he just wants us to win the title. And again, we need to win this title. It's our last chance of a trophy. Uh, so yes, let's hope that we win this match. Yes, Werner again adjudged man of the match. So another great performance. Couldn't really score, but then that's the thing with him. He may not score, he may miss chances, but then with him at least we create a lot of chances. Whereas Lukaku again looked a little bit lost. Even Tuchel mentioned that he was injured for a while, and because of that, he wasn't really ready to start uh, and play 90 minutes. So yes, maybe this was just a cameo to help him build fitness, and let's see if he starts the next match. Or even someone like Joe Cole said that he's fighting to save his career. These last 6 weeks he's fighting to save his career. There were also reports of him being linked to someone like a return to Inter Milan or even someone like PSG. So let's see what happens. But yeah, like don't want to read too much because obviously this was still, no offense, but this was still Crystal Palace. So yeah, the final, it's against Liverpool, which is going to be a different ball game altogether.
Yeah, Jokol and Roy Keane, they did say that now Lukaku will be fighting to save his career, and yes, he has been linked with a couple of teams. Let's see what happens. As far as the final is concerned, a lot of the media, at least, they're already giving it to Liverpool, but this, underestimate us at your own peril. Just one last point. We still have 8 matches left in the Premier League and one FA Cup match. So in little under a month, we still have to play 9 matches. So 27 days, 9 matches. All the best to us. Let's see how that helps us out. I think we've played 63 matches, I guess, out of a possible 66.
Yeah, we're going to play 63 out of possible 66. Liverpool are going to play 63 out of 63.
So even though it is the business end, I mean, we still cannot take our foot off the gas. So, let's see. Okay, moving on to the Premier League, we had 2 matches. The first one being Newcastle against Leicester. It was actually Leicester who took the lead. Ademola Lookman, 19th minute. But again, talking about having a moment. Ever since the transfer window, we've been hearing, only good things about Bruno Guimaraes, and yesterday he's put in that sort of a performance. Not only because he scored a couple of goals, obviously that was important. The second one being, late in injury time, second half, but again the kind of performance that he has shown, especially yesterday. So yeah, he's sort of announced his arrival at Newcastle. So Rahul.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of predicted this, the fact that maybe the trip to Holland, the match against PSV for Leicester in the Conference League would probably play a part. And I think that probably would have happened as well. So yes, Ademola Lookman, again, someone who, in a way, we can call this his breakthrough season because he's not really had a great great time of it. The past 2 seasons, I think he was also on loan at Leipzig, didn't really have a great time. Even at Fulham last season on loan, didn't really have the best of times. But yes, finally, maybe he's enjoying playing under Brandon Rodgers. Finally, enjoying playing again at Leicester. Maybe somewhere he feels like he actually belongs. Maybe Rodgers has given him time to express himself, so maybe that makes him feel better. So yes, he has scored some wonderful and important goals this season for Leicester. But yes, like we said, that this was again Newcastle playing at home in front of the Geordies, and yes, Bruno Guimaraes, I think he's been so good, probably one of their best signings. So yes, he was on fire. I think he scored his first goal at St. James Park, or rather Sports Direct Arena, but that wasn't enough. He actually scored the winner as well. Just another way for him to endear himself, to the St. James's Park faithful. Yeah, a great match. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, in the second match, again, there were so many subplots here. Burnley sacked Sean Dyche over the weekend, and again, West Ham had their Europa League rather, travels. They won against Lyon 3-0 away from him. So as we predicted, there was some hangover of that as well here. It was actually Burnley who took the lead through Weghorst in the 33rd minute, but Soucek responded in the 74th minute. I think the biggest talking point here was the injury to Ashley Westwood. He suffered a horrendous leg injury, and yeah, I mean, it was one of those. It was just like I forget his name. Son tackled Everton player.
Andre Gomez.
Gomez, yeah, and it was Son who was distraught. So similarly, Vlasic, who was actually responsible for that, not Chris foul, he was so crestfallen. So Good luck to Westwood. And again, a point does nobody any good here. Especially with Tottenham and Arsenal slipping up, West Ham would have wanted all 3 points just to be in the reckoning. But a point does nothing for them, and of course, Burnley, I think, in their race with Everton for the last relegation spot, they also needed 3 points. So, yeah, no particular winners here in literal and figurative terms. Rahul?
I mean, in a way, yeah, I'll go back to the same point that I made earlier. The biggest winners would be Manchester United, right? Uh, Spurs lost, Arsenal lost, even West Ham drew. Maybe even West Ham have understood that for them it's best to focus on their Europa League campaign. On top of that, Burnley were actually even better. They could have actually won the game. Maxwell Kone, he actually missed a penalty. Burnley actually had a penalty, and yeah, he failed to score that. Otherwise, they would have probably gotten away with 3 points. So yes, uh, like we said, that West Ham would probably have a hangover. Obviously, it's a difficult trip, to France to play Leon. So yes, I think it was West Ham got away with it. I think in a way, yeah, they would be happy with a point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it from the Premier League. We can talk about La Liga now. So it was Atletico Madrid against Espanyol, and history sort of repeated itself, just like in the reverse fixture. This match went on for 100 minutes with a late winner to Atletico. They won the match 2-1 with Carrasco scoring in the 52nd and in the 100th minute. Injury time penalty was given, and again, it was totally chaotic. I mean, just the way La Liga functions, I guess, when the referee came over, to see the incident for himself over the monitor. I mean, people had to be shooed away from him, officials from both the teams. So pretty comical and actually quite disappointing. But I think it was a penalty, and fair play to him. Atletico did win the match. They should have won the match a little easier, but again, they put in a huge effort against City on Wednesday. So at the end of the day, it's 3 points that matter, and yeah, good for them. Rahul?
I mean, yeah, like Kondogbia was sent off. So again, another bad stat, for Atletico. They just keep having these players sent off. I mean, they had a player sent off in midweek as well against City. Back then it was Felipe. Now it is Kondogbia for second yellow. I mean, yeah, like you said, even the corresponding fixture, went on for a little longer. Even that had some red cards involved. Again, someone like Yannick Carrasco, such an attacking player, such a good player, but why didn't he start against Manchester City? I mean, the problem is not being defensive, but the problem is that when you have so many attacking players and still you're being defensive, like that's my problem with Atletico. I mean, had they made these changes a little sooner, or maybe had they started even a single player or two or three out of these five players that they brought on against City, maybe even one of these had started, maybe the outcome would be a little different. So even I mean, we could just see how good Carrasco is and how good he was in this match. And yes, as soon as Kondogbia was sent off, then that gave opportunity, to uh, Espanyol to equalize. Raul de Tomas, a former, a Real Madrid academy player. He's the one who scored the equalizer. But yes, Atletico again, like we've seen them under Simeone, the mentality that they have, they didn't give up. They kept going and going, kept pushing, and yes, finally they had the reward. And it was again none other than the player who opened the scoring for them. It was Yannick Carrasco. So yeah, they still keep pace, and they're still trying to finish third. But yeah, that's like their best that they can do this season.
Talking about not giving up, it was actually a top of the table clash between Sevilla and Real Madrid, and Sevilla started surprisingly well. They scored 2 goals in the first 25 minutes with Rakitic and Lamela on the score sheet. And from there on in, I mean, another talking point in the first half was a sudden yellow that was not given to Camavinga again. These decisions do tend to go in favor of the victims. It was a definite second yellow, and notwithstanding, it was a great comeback in the second half with Rodrigo, Nacho, and then finally Mr. what was called goal scorer himself, Benzema, scoring the winner. So come from behind 3-2 win for Real Madrid. So Now there are 3 teams on 60 points, with Barcelona having played 30 games and Sevilla and Atletico having played 32 games. So when Madrid were actually trailing in this match, I was doing some calculations, and Madrid have to reach 84 points. Uh, if Barcelona are to win all their matches, even then 84 points will do it for Madrid, because I think 85 will do it, because in La Liga it is head to head, and Barcelona with that 4-0 win, I think they'll be better off. So yeah, another 10 points needed in the next
6 matches.
in the next 6 matches. As good as done. I think they'll try to wrap it up, and so that they can concentrate on the semi-finals, if they reach the final of the Champions League. So yeah, had they lost it, it would have been tensed situation all around, especially with Barcelona having 2 games of this thing. But now that they've won it, I think it was crucial that they get over the line, and it will be easy from here on. Rahul?
I mean, yeah, like in my opinion, they would be happy with the point. Yeah, especially when you take into consideration that in a way it was a talking point. It was a decision, or rather the decision that didn't that wasn't given, that actually changed the complexion of the game. Yes, it was a clear second yellow, right? So yes, the fact that Camavinga was not sent off, was not given a second yellow, yes, that just changed the complexion of the game. And but again, like you said, kudos still, to Real Madrid for making that comeback. Yes, they've got all these players. I think Casemiro was missing in this match. It was Camavinga started because of the suspension of Casemiro. But again, some of these players, like maybe we can add one more list. We talked about the 2 players for Real Madrid, that Vinicius and Benzema. I mean, obviously Vinicius even had a goal disallowed. It was Nacho who scored the second goal, but now all of a sudden it's even Rodrigo who scored 2 in a row now. First he scored against Chelsea, and now against Sevilla. Again, at the same time, uh, like had this match maybe taken place a couple of months ago, maybe this would be a different. This would actually be top of the table clash, and then maybe Sevilla would feel worse about dropping points. But now, in a way, it's decided for them. They're not really playing to finish first. They just want to make sure that they finish second, or that's they just want to consolidate that position. So yeah, I think yes. Now they will be happy. Like Real Madrid will be like happy, because even they would be under the impression that we'll take 1 point, because they also played extra time and all those things. So yes, I think they are the favorites, obviously, now for the title.
Yes, yes. Moving on to Bundesliga now. Bayern Munich faced off Armenia on Bielefeld away from home, and again after their exit from the Champions League against Villarreal. The whole world, at least the footballing world, was eager to see how they perform in this match. So they gave a good account of themselves. They scored 2 goals, got an own goal as well. So they come away 3-0 victors. So right now, I think they have 6 points ahead of Dortmund with their, it's actually 9 points. So even if they lose the next match, it really doesn't make a lot of difference. But again, that is not how I'm sure they'll view their match against Dortmund next week. But yeah, they'll probably more likely look at it as an opportunity to wrap up the title. So let's see. But again, a crucial win for them, 3-0 away from Lahore.
I think in a way it's already wrapped up. They've played 30 matches, which means, I think if I'm not wrong, there are only 34 matches, so only 4 matches left in the Bundesliga. So yes, I mean they're already 9 points ahead. They have to lose 3 matches out of those 4. So even if they lose one match to Dortmund, I don't really think that they're going to lose the other matches. Uh, Maybe it's more about pride for Dortmund. Yes, that at least they're not going to win the Bundesliga, but if they can even manage to beat Bayern Dortmund, they'll feel like, yeah, we did something good this season, which is such a shame, to be honest. I mean, again, what would you expect in a match like this, especially when there is so much at stake? Bayern Munich playing against a team that's battling relegation. Yes, when you've got someone like Lewandowski and all these players. So yes, in a way, a standard victory, for Bayern Munich. Nothing more to say. All I can say is that yes, we've already heard these rumors. Even Fabrizio Romano has reported that now. I think there are 2 players from Ajax who are almost on the verge of signing for Bayern Munich. One is obviously the 19-year-old midfielder Ryan Gravenberch. He's again on the verge. He's I think got one season left, and then there's Nasraoui, the right back, who actually is going to be a free agent in the summer. So both represented by Mino Raiola. So yes, it does look like both of these are on the verge of signing for Bayern. And again, I think good signings in a way. Gravenberch just 19. They need someone in the middle of the park, a long-term player. Whereas someone like Nazraoui again, if maybe that's what I think. Maybe with Nazraoui, Nagelsmann will look to switch to his preferred formation of a back three. Maybe Pavard will play as right side centre back, and Nazraoui will play as the wing back. Let's see. I mean, some good moves already, and that too for which they don't really have to spend a lot of money. So yeah.
Yeah, so again, there are a lot of transfer speculation for Bayern, and the bosses have been very vocal. Oliver Kahn and Salahamidzic has been very vocal that they don't have a lot of financial resources. So, of course, they'll be targeting youngsters. Let's see how they take forward the transfer activity. Yeah, in the other match, third played against fourth, and now we have a new third. Leverkusen lost at home against Leipzig, 1-0. Again, Leipzig had the handover of playing Atalanta on Thursday, so I don't think performance really would have been their priority. They just wanted to get the 3 points, and it's actually Leipzig on 54 points, Leverkusen 52, and Freiburg on 51. So two of these three teams will qualify for Europe next season. Maybe that is where all of the interest. Of course, we just have a look at the relegation. So yeah, and playoff spot for the relegation as well. So there is where the interest lies. I think the top two are secured now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering, like what if Leipzig actually had Dominic Tedesco for the whole season? Things would be different. They would definitely be second. I mean, if not giving competition to Bayern, they would at least be above Dortmund. And like you said, that this match was all about tactics. I think he got his tactics spot on. Like maybe something that even Guardiola wanted to do in their match against Liverpool. That keep it tight and then bring on the players who played large parts of the game midweek in the second half. So, but obviously City couldn't do it, but Leipzig were able to do that. He made a lot of changes. I think 4 or 5 players were on the bench that probably would start in any other match for Leipzig. Players who belong to their starting 11. Someone like obviously someone like Dani Olmo, someone like Christopher Nkunku. So yes, he rested all these players, hoping to keep it tight for the first half and then bring out all the big guns in the second half, and that's what happened. Uh, it was 0-0 in the first half, but then yes, as soon as the second half began, Tedesco started bringing on all these big hitters, and yes, it was one of those big hitters. Christopher Nkunku again. This time he couldn't manage to score, but yes, he was the one who provided the assist to the Hungarian winger Damir Szoboszlai. Wow, what a goal again! And yes, we could just see, as soon as Leipzig scored, the happiness on Tedesco's face, the joy, the way he celebrated, and he knew that it's a very important result and his tactics. He was so happy to get his tactics right. So yeah, a good result for Leipzig.
Yeah, and finally we had PSG against Marseille. Now the away fans were asked not to travel for this match because of historical trend in such massive matches of violence, and fortunately nothing untoward happened yesterday, except the fact that yeah, PSG won. The first goal was scored by Neymar. Again, a beautiful sliding long pass was by Verratti, if I can remember correctly. And the second one was a penalty. One of the penalties that I can be on board with. Yeah, it was a penalty. So Mbappe scoring that one, and yeah, so all the goals were scored in the first half itself. Nothing much in the second half. So I think Pochettino is on his way to win his first important major championship. So good for him. And the difference between these two teams is 15 points with 6 matches to go. So it can be wrapped up next week. Now,
I mean, again, I don't really think that even if PSG had lost, uh, it would change the outcome of who's going to win league. I think it will still be PSG again, and because of the fact that they are also out of all the other competitions, it's just playing in Liga one match a week. So yes, I mean they've got a great home record to be honest. Yes, they've had some difficulties on their travels, but at home they're unbeaten in the last 19 games. I mean, you look at the goal that wow, what an assist from Verratti. I mean, I don't really think that actually Neymar expected to score that goal, but yes, he finally did. At the same time, like you said, maybe the fact that not a lot of Marseille supporters were there, maybe that also played a part. Having said that, it was in a way a game of missed opportunities, right? There was a goal that Mbappe scored, but again, it was ruled out by VAR. And then William Saliba, the Arsenal defender on loan at Marseille, who has actually not scored a single goal for Marseille. So he mentioned in one of his recent interviews that before he leaves, or whatever happens, he would like to score at least one goal, and that one goal will come. And Marseille, I think, had a free kick that was taken by none other than Dimitri Payet, and he was on the finishing end of it. So yes, he managed to put that one in the back of the net. But luck would have it, that was chalked off because one of the Marseille players was offside. So yes, he still. But again, what if he had actually managed to score his first goal for Marseille, and that would have been the equalizer against PSG in such a big game? But yes, that wasn't meant to be. But yes, a good result. In a way, along expected lines for PSG. Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's about it. There was no Serie A matches yesterday. We have 2 matches later tonight, so I hope you guys can catch up on that. And that brings us to the end of our podcast today. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. We'll be back with our preview of the midweek matches pretty soon. Thank you. And take
All right,
care.
guys. All right.